Ah, that moment of pure panic. We've all dreaded it. You hear the click of the door closing, and then it hits you. Your keys are on the other side. It is so stressful, so frustrating, and it always seems to happen at the worst possible time. But hey, don't worry, we're going to walk through a calm, step-by-step plan to get you back inside safe and sound.
Okay, so there it is, that sinking feeling in your stomach. It's so easy to start stressing out, right? Especially if it's late or cold or raining. But what you do in these next few minutes, it's absolutely crucial. Your very first move is the most important one.
And that first move is just this. Take a deep breath and stay calm. Seriously, panicking is not going to open the door any faster, and it might actually lead to some really costly mistakes. We're going to walk through a clear process here, starting with the simplest stuff and then moving on to expert help, all without you having to damage your property.
So before you even think about grabbing a tool or calling someone, let's cover your first two checks. Now, they might sound a little obvious, but you would be amazed how often these simple things are the answer.
First up, do a full lap around your property. Methodically check every single door and any window you could possibly access. Is the back door really latched? Did you maybe leave a side window unlocked? Go ahead, use the flashlight on your phone if you need to. If that's a no-go, we move to step 2. Who has a spare key? Think about it. Friends, family, a neighbor you trust, maybe even your landlord. Now is the time to make that call.
All right, so if those simple checks didn't work, it's time to play detective for a minute and figure out your lock situation. You see, knowing what you're dealing with is literally the key to figuring out what to do next.
Now, this is really the most important thing to understand. On the left, you've got your spring bolt locks, like a classic Yale latch. See that little angled bolt? It's held in place with a spring. This is pretty much the only kind of lock where a simple DIY trick might actually work. But over on the right, you have deadlocks. These are way more secure because that bolt is just a solid piece of metal. It only moves with a key. If you've got one of these, you're almost certainly going to need a key or an expert.
Okay, so let's talk about some of those potential DIY fixes. But, and this is a huge but, I have to give you a massive word of caution here. Only, and I mean only, try these on your own property and just know that you can cause damage if you're not super careful. The name of the game is patience, not force.
So the whole trick is matching the technique to the lock. For that spring-loaded Yale latch we just talked about, a flexible but sturdy card, like a library card or something similar, slipped between the frame and the door can sometimes push that bolt back. For a simple indoor lock, like on a bathroom, look for a tiny pinhole on the handle. A paper clip can often do the trick. And if the handle itself just seems jammed, you might be able to carefully remove the exterior screws to get enough access to work the mechanism by hand.
And this, right here, this is the golden rule. You need to treat this quote as law. The second you feel like you need to apply any real force, you have to stop. A warped door frame or a cracked window is going to be way more expensive and stressful to fix than just being locked out.
So what happens if DIY is not an option, or you try and it just doesn't work? It's time to call it professional. And look, this isn't giving up. This is making the smartest and by far the safest choice. So, when is it time to just pick up the phone? Well, the second you realize you're dealing with a high-security lock, like a deadlock, an anti-snap cylinder, or one of those multi-point systems on a modern door. Don't even bother with a DIY fix. Or, if you've tried the simple, non-damaging tricks and you've got nothing, it's pro time.
And here's the best part: speed. A good emergency locksmith can usually be at your door in about 30 minutes. Think about that. That's less time you have to spend waiting out in the cold or the dark, and it's a much, much faster end to a really stressful situation.
You know, what you're really paying for is peace of mind. A pro has the skills to get you in without breaking anything. A reliable one will give you a fixed price up front and show you ID so you know who you're dealing with. And hey, if your keys are truly lost, they can rekey or replace the lock right there on the spot, making your home totally secure again.
Okay, you're back inside. The crisis is over. Phew. Now, how do we make sure this never, ever happens again? Let's talk prevention, because honestly, a few minutes of planning right now can save you a world of hurt later.
If you ask any professional, they'll all tell you the same thing. The number one tip: prevention. The best solution is just stopping the problem before it can even start.
And the solutions are actually remarkably simple. First, find 1 or 2 people you trust completely who live pretty close by and just give them a spare key. A reliable neighbor is perfect for this. The second option, which is getting super popular, is to install a small, secure combination key safe somewhere discreet on your property.
It's a tiny one-time investment for permanent peace of mind.
So we'll leave you with this question. Now that you have a plan for what to do during a lockout, what are you going to do before it happens? Whether that's calling a friend right now or hopping online to order a key safe, taking that one small step today is really the key to avoiding this whole stressful mess in the future.